times with understandable grievances, have joined in the attack on their own government. But we must not let this mask the central fact that this is really war. It is guided by North Vietnam and it is spurred by Communist China. Its goal is to conquer the South, to defeat American power, and to extend the Asiatic dominion of communism. And there are great stakes in the balance. Most of the non-communist nations of Asia cannot by themselves and alone resist the growing might and the grasping ambition of Asian communism. Our power, therefore, is a very vital shield. If we are driven from the field in Vietnam, then no nation can ever again have the same confidence in American promise or in American protection.
And we were walking into this village when you can hear what happened.
The U.S. military may now have to rethink basic tactical and strategic concepts in Vietnam. Troops may have to be redeployed. The Americans are painfully weak in many important areas, particularly in the Central Highlands.
This is what the war in Vietnam is all about. The old and the very young. The Marines have burned this old couple's cottage because fire was coming from here.
Awful sick of it. I'll be so glad to go home. I don't know. It's the worst area we've been in since I've been in Vietnam.
You think it's worth it?
Yeah, I don't know. They say we're fighting for something. I don't know.
What you have is a recipe.
Difficult now, even more, to believe the United States has been doing as well as these officials have said. America's presence in Vietnam, the brand new U.S. Embassy building there. CBS News correspondent Robert Shackney reports.
Military police got back into the compound of the $2.5 million embassy complex at dawn. Before that, a platoon of Viet Cong were in control.
Television images are a tad offensive. Did as much destruction to the administration's policies in Vietnam as anything that ever happened.
All told, 5 Americans were killed during the day.
I couldn't believe what I was watching, what I was seeing on television.
To say that we are closer to victory today is to believe, in the face of the evidence, the optimists who have been wrong in the past. To suggest we are on the edge of defeat is to yield to unreasonable pessimism. To say that we are mired in stalemate seems the only realistic, if unsatisfactory, conclusion.
It is sometimes said that Americans have grown weary of seeing pictures of GIs fighting all over the countryside of Vietnam. They have seen it so much that it has little impact.
I have never heard or seen such outrageous, vicious, distorted reporting in 27 years of public life. But when people are pounded night after night with that kind of frantic, hysterical reporting, it naturally shakes their confidence.
But it is increasingly clear to this report that the only rational way out then will be to negotiate, not as victims, but as an honorable people who lived up to their pledge to defend democracy and did the best they could. This is Walter Cronkite. Good night.
Again, I'm looking from south to north.
Thank you very much. We appreciate the book is called Hughes. We want to go live right now and show you a picture of the World Trade Center.
This just in, you are looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
Again, unconfirmed report that a plane has crashed into one of the towers there. We are efforting more information on this subject as it becomes available to you.
With Manhattan, you're looking at the World Trade Center. We understand that a plane has crashed into the World Trade Center. We don't know anything more than that. We don't know if it was a commercial aircraft.
Now, by the entire ABC network, Good Morning America was in progress in the East Coast and the Midwest, but we're joined by the entire network just to show you some pictures at the foot of New York City. This is at the World Trade Center.
As Matt just mentioned, we have a breaking news story to tell you about. Apparently, a plane has just crashed into the World Trade Center here.
You have no idea right now?
There's another one. Another plane just hit. Right. Oh, my God. Another plane has just hit. It hit another building. Flew right into the middle of it. Explosion.
Oh my goodness, there's another one.
This seems to be on purpose.
Oh my goodness, now you...
Plane?
And when you talk about an integrated response...
Well, the integrated response is obviously, first of all, I want to say...
Okay.
Like every American right now, I'm behind the president.
Good evening. Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts. Fires burning, huge structures collapsing, have filled us with disbelief, terrible sadness, and a quiet, unyielding anger. These acts of mass murder were intended to frighten our nation into chaos and retreat. But they have failed. Our country is strong. A great people has been moved to defend a great nation.
Our war on terror begins with Al-Qaeda, but it does not end there. It will not end until every terrorist group of global reach has been found, stopped, and defeated.
Something that had been, of course, expected and warned about by U.S. officials as well as Northern Alliance. In fact, the Northern Alliance Foreign Minister said earlier today that he said that an attack was imminent.
But it has to be said that over the last 24 hours, the expectation has grown. People expecting what has just happened right now and what apparently is still underway in Afghanistan, Aaron.
I was going to say, the expectations have been met.
The United States of America will not permit the world's most dangerous regimes to threaten us with the world's most destructive weapons. When I called our troops into action, I did so with complete confidence in their courage and skill. And tonight, thanks to them, we are winning the war on terror.
Hold it, hold it. Bin Laden is dead. Bin Laden is dead. Confirmed, urgent confirmed. Bin Laden is dead.
Frankly, the Muslim world ought to be very happy that this person that has created so much turmoil in their world is not with us anymore.
Happy days, everybody. Yeah. This is the greatest. Give me a wide shot of the general. This is the greatest night of my career. The bum is dead. The savage who hurt us so grievously. And I am so blessed. I'm so privileged to be at this desk.
We won the evangelicals. We won with young. We won with old. We won with highly educated. We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated.
Now, that was a smart statement because by saying he loves the poorly educated, Trump is slapping the elites, who many voters despise.
Look here, if Donald Trump wins tonight, no matter who they voted for, take a look at these numbers here. 21% say they'll be concerned. 37% say they'll be scared.
I wouldn't call anything encouraging for Hillary Clinton at the moment, to be honest with you, my friend.
Wolf, the scene here is so different than it was a few hours ago when people were happy and relaxed. I have been looking around the room at people who are stone-faced. Some of them have been crying.
We said conventional wisdom was completely wrong in this election, and so was political science.
Britain is a very class-based society, and the people who voted for Brexit were the people who were not in the higher classes for sure. And they came out and they socked the establishment right in the face. And it does feel like that's what's happening.
This was a white lash against a changing country. It was a white lash against a black president.
This is the people rising up saying it's time to listen to us. It's time to listen to us in Michigan and Wisconsin and work for the people.
Hillary Clinton has called Donald Trump to concede the race.
No, the stories are false. I'm going to continue to attack the press. Look, I find the press to be extremely dishonest. I find the political press to be unbelievably dishonest. I will say that. Okay, thank you all very much. Thank you.
And being a reporter means you cover the story. You're not supposed to be the story, but at times the press is certainly thrust into political storms. And under President Trump, it's with frequency. But what is the cost to the press, to the country?
I think the cost is to democracy, really, and to public confidence in the media. Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, Bill Clinton, all of these presidents have had adversarial relationships and have been at times angry, uncomfortable, dismissive. I've felt the brunt of their anger at times. But the fact is they all knew that they had an obligation that was baked into the relationship, the contract, the First Amendment, to have coverage, to have news conferences.
He's a divider, not a uniter, and he likes to have an enemy. He likes to have somebody to go after. So the media is as good an enemy as anybody.
Whatever happened to fair press? Whatever happened to honest reporting? They don't report it. They only make up stories, but they can make anything bad because they are the fake, disgusting news.
Over the past few weeks, the Trump administration has been ramping up one of the most effective tactics for combating all the fake news. They've been speaking out on the very programs that spew the misinformation and lies about the president and standing up to these pundits and so-called journalists who treat the White House with hatred and disdain.
Today, hundreds of newspapers across the country are publishing op-eds to push back against the Trump administration's attacks on the press. It started with the Boston Globe, who asked news organizations to come together to condemn the president's attacks on the press as fake news and enemies of the people.
You know, look, this harks back in some ways to what Nixon did with the press, particularly at times his ability to get into office and then his desire to try to deflect crisis. There is an echo, shall we say, a parallel to what's happening here. It certainly helped Trump get here, although without the media, he would never have been a viable candidate. Well, there's certainly efforts to shape reality, and the truth at times is a casualty of that.
Very true. David Folkenflik.